Hi students, good morning. Welcome to our video classes. In the previous classes, we have learnt about the 14th chapter, that is chemical effects of electric current. In the chemical effects of electric current, we have studied the difference between current electricity and static electricity. Today we are going to learn about some natural phenomena. This is the 15th chapter in our syllabus. We have in lower class we have studied about rains, storms, thunderstorms and cyclones. What are these? All these are the natural phenomena. These cyclones are also a natural phenomenon which causes great destruction to human life and property. And we know what preventive measures, and we know the occurrence of these cyclone, how these cyclones are happened, and the prediction of how can we predict the coming cyclones or coming thunderstorms. All we know, if we learn about these occurrence, how these are happened, and the prediction, how can we predict the coming cyclones, then it is easy to protect ourselves from cyclones or some natural phenomena to some extent by taking timely action. In this chapter, yet two other natural phenomena are there which causes great destruction to human life and property. What are that phenomena? That phenomena are lightning and earthquakes. But these lightnings can be predicted, but earthquakes cannot be predicted. Then how can we predict these lightning? If we know the occurrence of a thunderstorm, then there is a possibility of lightning, like that we can predict. And if we can predict and how this lightning is happened, if we know these, then it is easy to take proper steps to protect ourselves from these natural phenomena. But earthquakes, which causes great destruction or great damage to human health and wealth, that can't be predicted. In this chapter we are going to learn about the two natural phenomena, that are lightning and earthquakes. First, about lightning. What is this lightning? It is familiar to us. That means in our daily life we observe whenever there are loose connections between electric charges, that means electric poles, to the electric poles wires are connected. If there is a loose connection between them, then we observe sparks. What are that are called as electric sparks. And whenever we insert wires in the plug, electric plug, if there is a loose connection, there also we observe electric sparks. And near the transformers, in some cases if there are loose connections, there also we observe electric sparks. All these are what? Electric sparks. In the same manner, this lightning is also an electric spark, but it is in huge scale, higher manner. It is an electric spark in huge scale. And what it is formed due to the accumulation of electric charge on the clouds. Actually, how this lightning is happened, it is also an electric spark in huge scale, which is formed due to the accumulation of electric charge on clouds. Then what is this electric charge? Already in the previous classes we have learnt about current electricity and static electricity. In this current electricity and static electricity, what is the difference? Simply current electricity or electric current means if that electric charges are in motion in a systematic order. That means that orderly motion of electric charges is simply called as electric current or current electricity. For example, if we turn on the switch of a fan or light, then what happens? From the power supplier to power utilizer, the charges are in motion. If the charges are in motion, then what is that? That is current electricity. And already we have observed, when a plastic comb or a balloon, inflated balloon, is rubbed, some charges resides on the surface of the body. The charges which are present, that are bounded to the surface, that are at rest, that is called static electricity. In this current electricity, charges are in motion. In static electricity, charges are at rest. Simply, what is this charge? How this charge is acquired? If you observe this charge, these charges are of how many types? Two types. One is positive and the other is negative. We are familiar with a cell. If you observe the cell, for that cell two terminals. At one terminal what is indicated plus, that is positive, and the other terminal what is indicated negative, okay, minus. That means these two represents two types of charges, two different kinds of charges that are positive and negative. When these are connected, when these battery positive and negative are connected with the conducting wires to a bulb, then automatically the bulb glows. Then what is in motion? The charge is in motion. Which charge? That may be positive charge or negative charge. Like the two charges are there. Actually this charge, electric charge, is measured in coulombs. How the length is expressed in meters, time is expressed in seconds. In the same manner, this electric charge is expressed in coulombs. If you observe the properties of these electric charges, then in nature, how many kinds of charges are there? Two charges, that are positive charge and negative charge. This positive charge is denoted with the plus symbol and the negative charge is denoted with the negative. How these charges are attained? And if you observe the laws of these charges, like charges repel with each other and unlike charges attract with each other. And if you observe two charges, between these two charges there is a force, that may be attraction force or repulsion force. The force which exists between two charges, opposite charges or same charges, that is electrostatic force. If the two are opposite charges, then between that opposite charges what is there? Attraction is there. The attraction between, that means two opposite charges, positive negative or negative positive, attract with each other. Then the force which exists between these two is electrostatic attraction. And two same kind of charges, that may be positive, both are positive or both are negative, which force is there? Repulsion force is there. That is also called as electrostatic repulsion. Simply these are the laws of electric charges. What are that? Opposite charges attract with each other, same charges repel with each other, and this charge is conserved. That means if the charge is disappeared in one form and again it reappears in another form, that means we can't create this charge or destroy this charge. Means that is always, it is conserved and it is quantized. To first, who discovered this existence of this charge? Thales. A scientist named Thales, in about 2500 years ago, a Greek scientist called Thales conducted an experiment. First he observed this charge or static electricity or static electric charges. How he observed or how he discovered this static electricity or electric charges? He take a substance called amber. What is that substance? Amber. Amber means it is a resin. What is this resin? Resin means long chain carbon compounds, that is called as resin. In our daily life, we use so many resins, plastics, polymers, all these artificial fibers, all these are different kinds of resins. Resin means chemically, it is a long chain carbon compound. That type of resin, amber, is taken. Amber means in the Telugu what we call as Seema Guggilamu. Okay, that is amber. This amber is taken and this hold it with our hands and it is rubbed with silk cloth. This amber is hold with one hand and with other hand what is hold? This silk cloth is hold, and this amber is rubbed with silk cloth. Whenever this amber is rubbed with the silk cloth and this rubbed amber is placed near lightweight objects like feathers, okay, then these feathers get started attracting, these tiny feathers get started attracting towards this amber. That means these feathers, lightweight objects, feathers moves towards this amber, means this amber acts some force on the feathers. Which force? That is attraction force. How this force is acquired to it? That means whenever this amber is rubbed, some charge is acquired to this amber. This charge which is acquired to the amber exerts force. Which charge it is called as? Simply that is electric charge. This electric charge exerts force on these lightweight objects feathers, that is electric force. Okay, this Thales said that amber acquires electric charge or electricity whenever it is rubbed with silk cloth, and the force of this electric charge attracts these tiny feathers. Then which charge? Positive or negative charge? That may be positive charge or negative charge. Then how these charges are acquired to this? And in previous classes we have learned that plastic comb is rubbed with dry air and glass rod is rubbed with silk cloth, or inflated balloon is rubbed with woolen cloth. In all these, what are rubbed against each other? The two objects acquires a charge, but the charge which is acquired to the two bodies is not same, that is opposite charges. If one thing, for example, if glass rod acquires positive charge, that polythene sheet acquires negative charge. If the rubber balloon acquires negative charge, the woolen cloth acquires positive charge. Like that, both which are rubbed against each other, the two acquires this charge. Let us observe how this charge is acquired. All these substances, what are these substances in this amber or silk cloth, plastic comb, dry air, next this glass rod, polythene sheet, rubber balloon, woolen cloth, all these are objects or bodies. Bodies means that refers to objects, things. Okay, these are made of tiny particles. Why? All these are different kinds of matter. Every matter is made up of tiny particles called as atoms. For example, if we take a building, how that building is built, that means the building of the building blocks of the building are bricks. In the same manner, every matter is made up of what we discussed, these objects. All these are made of tiny particles called as atoms. These atoms are very small particles which are not visible to our naked eye. These are not visible to electron microscope also. Then how these are visible to our naked eye? Then how these existence of atoms were discovered, later we will learn in other classes. These atoms are the smallest particles. What we call these smallest particles, in these again some other particles are present that are negatively charged particles, electrons, and positively charged particles, protons, neutrally charged particles, neutrons present. Students, observe what we call as smallest particle. In these smallest particles, electrons, which are negatively charged particles, protons, positively charged particles, neutrons, neutral particles, neutrally charged particles, these are present in the atom. That means if we take any matter, for example, if we take water, water means it is a substance, its chemical formula is H2O. How it is formed? It is formed by the combination of two hydrogen atoms. One water molecule is formed by the combination of two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom. Again, this hydrogen and oxygen atoms are there. Again, in this hydrogen atom, some electrons, protons and neutrons. Sorry, in hydrogen, electrons and protons are only present, neutron is not present. And if we take oxygen, in this electrons, protons and neutrons are present. Like that, in every atom, smallest particle, electrons, protons are there. These electrons are negatively charged particles, protons are positively charged particles, neutrons are neutral particles. But in any matter, these electrons and protons are in same number. That means how many negatively charged particles, these minus, are present, same number of positively charged particles are present. If negatively charged particles and positively charged particles number is same, that means that net charge is neutral. Okay, like that, these charges are there. Then whenever these are rubbed, how these electricity or static electricity is attained? Let us conduct simple activities with the simple materials what are available. First, take a plastic comb. Rub the plastic comb with a dry air. When the plastic comb is rubbed with a dry air, but observe one thing, while rubbing, one hand is hold with your hands, okay, and with what it is rubbed, that is hold with our other hand. But after rubbing, don't touch the rubbed portion with our hand, or don't touch the rubber, never touch the rubber portion with a metal or our hand. If any rubbed portion is touched with our hand or metal, what is happened? The charge which is acquired to that body, that transmits to our body and from our body to the earth, or to the metal and from the metal to our body and to the earth. Why? These metals and our body and earth, these are conductors. Means through these metals and through our body and through the earth, the charge transmits, this charge passes. That's why these are conductors. That's why after rubbing, now while we are performing these activities, after rubbing any body with other object, never touch with hands or with our hands or metals. Like that, take a plastic comb, rub with dry air, and if this rubber plastic comb is placed near small pieces of paper, these small pieces of paper gets attracted towards the comb. How it is happened? Whenever it is rubbed, this plastic comb acquires some charge. Okay, that means before rubbing, this plastic comb is also a material. In this, electrons, protons are present, but the electrons and protons which are present that are equal in number, that's why no charge, its charge is neutral. Then an uncharged, then it is an uncharged body. A comb which is not rubbed is placed near pieces of paper. Are the pieces of paper are attracted? No. After rubbing only it acquires. In the same manner, take a glass rod and silk cloth. One end of the glass rod is hold with our hand, and with the other hand silk cloth is hold. Rub the glass rod with the silk cloth. While rubbing, after rubbing, it is placed near small pieces of paper or small objects, or small grains or mustard seeds or any small other objects. It attracts. It attracts means what is happened? Some charge is acquired. That may be positive charge or negative charge. Which charge is acquired? Later we will discuss. Some charge is acquired, and this charge bounds on the surface of the body. It remain bound to the surface of the body. That means the charge is at rest. The charge which is acquired, that resides on the surface of the body. It is not transmitted from one portion to another portion or from one body to another body. It is at rest. That means it is in static position. These static electric charges are also known as charges at rest. If the charges are at rest, then it is called as static electricity. Like that, the static electricity is acquired to both the bodies which are rubbed against with each other. Actually, how this charge is acquired? What is happening while rubbing? Whenever these are rubbed, actually these are rubbed means the surface of the two bodies are contact with each other. That means frictional force is there. That's like that, the charge is acquired by friction or by rubbing. That's why it is also called as frictional electricity or static electricity, which is at rest. And while rubbing, what is happened? Electrons are transferred from one surface to another surface. But observe one thing, the electrons which are present internally in the body, that are not transferred. The electrons which are present on the surface of the body, that are only transferred from one body to another body. Why only the electrons are transferred but not the protons and neutrons? Observed in this, simply it is the model of an atom. What is shown in the diagram, that is the model of an atom. That means atomic structure. About atomic structure, atoms, subatomic particles, their arrangement called structure, we will learn in next classes. Just observe. In this, for example, it is minus, plus with different colors, spheres like that represents electrons, protons and neutrons. These protons which are in yellow color and neutrons which are blue in color, that are present at the center of the atom, that are held in the nucleus. The center of the atom is called as nucleus. And what about the electrons that are present outside? That means these protons and neutrons are bonded, okay, and electrons are not bonded, that are free. Then whenever we rubbing, these electrons are transferred from one body to another body. When the glass rod is rubbed with the silk cloth, what is happening? Electrons are transferred from surface of the glass rod to surface of the silk cloth. That means this glass rod loses electrons and silk cloth gains electrons. If glass rod loses electrons, then the number of protons present on the surface of the glass rod is higher than the number of electrons. Which are high? The number of, it loses electrons. If it loses electrons, then what are in excess? Protons are in excess. That means the number of protons is higher than the number of electrons. Then the charge acquired to the surface of the glass rod is positive charge. And what about the silk cloth? The silk cloth gains electrons. Whenever it gains electrons, then it has some more number of electrons. That means the number of electrons on the surface of the silk cloth is higher than the number of protons. That's why the net charge on the silk cloth is negative charge. Like that, the silk cloth acquires negative charge. Not only in the case of this glass rod and silk cloth, in the case of plastic comb and dry air, glass rod, silk cloth, rubber balloon, woolen cloth, like that, whatever one body is rubbed with another body, whatever that are rubbed against each other, all the two bodies acquire charge. One is positive and the other is negative. And the charges which are acquired that resides on the surface of the body, that means that are at rest on the surface of the body, these charges which are at rest, that are static charges. How these charges are acquired? In the same manner, these clouds have also acquired some charge, okay, and it is transferred from cloud to cloud or cloud to earth, what we call as lightning. Later we will discuss this lightning clearly. In these cases, the charge resides on the surface of the body. These charges which are at rest, that is static electricity. In the next class we will learn about uncharged and charged bodies. Thank you.